Good evening. Coming up at New Central, a Northern Michigan school has closed its doors today. We have the details.
And Central Michigan University held a career day on campus. We'll have the story. I'm Gretchen Venneman in for Angie Sharamsky.
And I'm David Scott. New Central is next.
Serving the Mount Pleasant community and Central Michigan University. With Angie Sharamsky, Dave Scott, John Spitzley with weather, and Todd Cox with sports. Live from Central Michigan University, this is News Central.
Central Michigan University's 27th Annual Career Day hit the University Center ballrooms today. The co-ed professional business fraternity Alpha Kappa Psi sponsored the 6-hour job bank. Companies across the state and nationwide attended Career Day. The event gives students the opportunity to see what kinds of jobs are available for the future. EDS,
It's vital, especially right now with the way the economy is. Students really need to be out there looking and finding out about different types of opportunities rather than just sticking to, I'm going to go to the placement center and find out just exactly what companies are hiring. They need to talk to different companies, maybe get some different opportunities than they would have had.
EDS, Mervyn's, Northwestern Mutual Life, Pizza Hut, Pepsi-Cola International, and State Farm Insurance were just a few of the businesses attending today's event.
Central Michigan University will lose an administrator, but at the same time gain a teacher. John Yantis will leave his position as Dean of CMU's College of Extended Learning and return to the classroom. Yantis feels that after 21 years as an administrator, it was time to make a career move. His resignation will take effect July 1st, then after a 6-month transitional period, Yantis will join the Educational Administration faculty in January of next year. The time to decide whether or not to withdraw from a course is now. Rod Wankel has the story.
In the registrar's office will be the hotbed of activities for the next 2 days. This is because it's the final 2 days that students are able to withdraw from a class and receive a W. Students are allowed to withdraw after this date, but only for complete withdrawal, which means they are withdrawing from all their courses. Students wishing to avoid long lines at the registrar's office will be out of luck, as over 1/3 of this semester's withdrawals will come in the next 2 days.
We get more than half of our students the last week, and we'll probably get between 500 and 1,000.
Students hoping to be reimbursed for withdrawing from a course will not be so lucky.
You do pay for it, and it will appear in your record. The only time you would get any feedback from a withdrawal is if it's a complete withdrawal and it's in the beginning of the semester. Then there is a fee cancellation. It's a graduated scale. It starts at, I believe, 75% down to approximately 25%.
For those students who haven't made their way up the stairs to the registrar's office, remember you only have 2 days left to do so. Rod Wankel, News Central.
Students in the Kalkaska School District may get a head start on their summer vacation. Mike Kuntz has the update.
Voters in Kalkaska said they just couldn't afford any more taxes. School officials decided to close schools at 11:30 this morning for over 2,300 students after voters overwhelmingly rejected a 28% property tax increase.
Yeah. But I think the issue, the more important part, is what's going on in Lansing. I think that's what it's all about. It's not, Kalkaska represents what's going on in Lansing. For years, nobody's done it. The governor, the legislators have talked a lot, they've postured, but they haven't done anything about school inequity and funding. The poor schools are getting poorer, and the rich schools are training their kids at the high level. And nobody's addressed this for years. And I think Kalkaska's pushed the button, has been a sacrificial goat in a sense.
A bill that would let the state appoint a receiver to take over and run the district passed the state Senate today. It still must clear the House and be signed by Governor Engler. The Michigan Education Association called for a moment of silence throughout schools in Michigan when the school closed its doors at 11:30 this afternoon. This is Mike Owens for News Central.
Theater will open CMU's latest theatrical production tonight. Ben Scripps has more on Prelude to a Kiss.
This evening, Bush Theater will play host to CMU's production of Craig Lucas's play, Prelude to a Kiss. The play opens tonight at 8 o'clock and continues through Saturday night. Last night, I had the chance to go backstage for the final dress rehearsal of this play. I found actors and crew members relaxing, waiting for their curtain to rise. Stagehands were making their white shoes black so that they wouldn't be seen by audience members during the show. I spoke with several crew members who told me about their jobs for the theater.
You know, I make sure that everybody is where they're supposed to be, and if any problems occur, then I have to take care of them, or find the person to take care of them.
Well, I basically set up the props. With the show, it's a lot harder than a lot of the other shows because they have the ensemble characters, and there's bar scenes and wedding scenes and party scenes where they all have to have drinks.
Turn the revolve, so when the scene changes come, they can set up one set while we spin the other one, so they can do more than one at the same time.
Before the show began, the entire cast and crew gathered backstage to get prepared for the show. After the crew left, the cast stayed behind to do some mental exercises. And then it was showtime. The play revolves around Peter and Rita, who fall in love and get married. However, at their wedding, an unusual old man shows up. He and the bride exchange one kiss, and they find that their souls have mysteriously switched bodies. Unfortunately, due to copyright law, we can't show you any of the actual production. However, if you do come out to see this show, you'll see an unusual play that's sure to please. Reporting for News Central, I'm Ben Scripps.
Brian Fortier is in for John Spitzley, and he joins us now for an update on our weather.
Well, the fog and cool air stuck around a little longer than we thought it would. We thought maybe it'd clear up today. It looks like we got some warmer weather on the way, especially for this weekend. I have details in the forecast in a few minutes.
Thanks, Brian.
And coming up next, a teacher faces molestation charges in Michigan.
And a young child has been poisoned with antifreeze. We'll have the story. Stay tuned.
Told you before we went to see the kids to wrap them water pipes with insulation.
Yeah, should have listened.
And didn't I tell you to leave the doors under the sink open?
Yeah.
And leave the heat on?
Yep.
You know, if you'd done all them things, we wouldn't have had to rip out the wall-to-wall carpet when we got home.
Yep, I know.
And we wouldn't have drowned the Victrola.
Yep, should have listened.
Oh, fool.
Oh, I got one.
Having the right resume is vital to your future career. That's why you need a resume from Copy Corner, your professional resume headquarters. Copy Corner will help you every step of the way, from writing to layout to printing. And you'll end up with a resume to impress any prospective employer. For one resume or 100, you can't beat our prices, high quality, or fast service. So for a professional resume, contact the experts at Copy Corner, located in Saddler Square, Big Rapids, and the Cinema Plaza, Mount Pleasant.
Personally, I learned about the disease and all the implications when my brother was diagnosed. And it was a harsh reality. I had to learn a lot very quickly. Even though I thought I knew a lot about AIDS, the picture changed when it became a family issue.
If I, the son of a Baptist minister from basically a rural area, can acquire AIDS, anybody can.
Obviously, women can get AIDS. I mean, I'm certainly here to witness to that. That it's not a we-they disease, it's an us disease.
AIDS is not a problem that affects other people. AIDS affects us all. Know the facts about AIDS. Know how to protect yourself and your family. Tell others. For answers to your questions about AIDS, call 1-800-342-AIDS.
A Monroe couple who were visiting their relatives in Harrison accidentally fed antifreeze to their 10-month-old infant.
The mother claims to have mistook the antifreeze as green Kool-Aid. Sunday morning, the infant began to hyperventilate and was flown to a Detroit area hospital. The parents, whose names are not being released at this time, claim the incident was accidental, but the state police are still investigating. According to police, the infant has since been removed from life support equipment and its condition has been upgraded to fair.
State police advised motorists to avoid a section of Interstate 94 near Chelsea until 3 this afternoon as emergency crews cleaned up a chemical spill that closed the areas. The spill occurred at 6:30 this morning near the junction of I-94 and Michigan 52 when associate truck lines and air freight tractor trailer from Indiana went off the highway, hit a tree, and flipped. No other vehicles were involved in the accident. The driver was taken to Chelsea Hospital, but his condition is not being released. The truck was carrying several chemicals in a powder form. Washtenaw County Sheriff's Lieutenant R.J. Smith says authorities don't know if the powdery chemicals pose a threat.
More allegations are being made against a Muskegon County substitute teacher after he was arrested last week on charges of molesting 5 elementary school girls. 41 other students and former students are also alleging they, too, were molested by James Udell. Muskegon County Prosecutor Tony Tagu says his office has received 20 complaints alleging other recent cases of molestation at Muskegon County elementary schools where Udell had recently been a substitute teacher. Tagu says the other 2 complaints are from former students of Udell's, ranging in age from 22 to 4, who allege they were molested when they were elementary school children in the Kent County area. In 1962, Udell was convicted of similar charges in Grand Rapids and in 1985 in Kentwood. After the later conviction, Udell's teaching certificate was revoked, but officials say Udell used a bogus certificate to gain his recent position.
It's business as usual as Chuck Muir's Detroit-based restaurant chain. Gary Tabak, legal counsel for the C.A. Muir Corporation, says company managers can run the business indefinitely regardless of uncertainty surrounding Muir's disappearance at sea. The company has 22 seafood restaurants in Michigan, Ohio, Florida, Pennsylvania, and Washington, D.C. Several of the outlets are called Charlie's Crab, which is also the name of Muir's 40-foot sailboat. Muir and his wife and another couple were last seen sailing aboard Charlie's Crab in the Bahamas before they were lost in the Atlantic Ocean in a storm 11 days ago.
Russia hasn't accepted Boris Yeltsin, and it seems as though the ex-communist country isn't ready to become democratic quite yet. Russian Foreign Minister Andrei Kozrev says the country needs the U.S. in order to survive, but their people don't like the idea of Western aid. President Clinton says it's in the U.S.'s best interest to help the country in order for democracy to stay. A state task force is recommending that Michigan make it easier to investigate and prosecute the 50,000 child abuse reports made each year. The 40 recommendations made by the governor's task force on children's justice include allowing more testimony from children under the age of 10 to be used in court and consolidating divorce. Probate in criminal cases involving the same child abuse allegations under one judge to spare the child multiple court appearance. Michigan Court of Appeals Judge Elizabeth Weaver says the panel's suggestion can keep the system from abusing children anymore and stops offenders from repeating their abuse on other children. Weaver says the State Department of Social Services has received $434,000 from the federal government to start implementing some of the recommendations. Out of the cases of child abuse or neglect investigated each year, 16,000 cases involving 26,000 children are found to be substantiated.
UN helicopters have completed their first round of bringing wounded refugees from Srebrenica to a town in eastern Bosnia that is safer. Despite their effort, 2 Canadian peacekeepers have been wounded in the operation, and 1 other is in critical condition. Serb fighters fired upon the field where the 3 French copters landed. Doctors and volunteers helped 21 evacuees when the helicopters arrived in the Bosnia government-held town of Tuzla. In New York, federal agents have found a man believed to be a key figure in the World Trade Center bombing. A federal investigator, remaining anonymous, says Mahmoud Abalami is a former New Jersey cab driver who was arrested in Egypt recently. The FBI says their new suspect will be arriving to the U.S. later today and will likely be arraigned tomorrow in a New York court. The Waco, Texas standoff has reached its 25th day and still no negotiations have been implemented. The FBI is calling David Koresh a liar and putting off the negotiations. The FBI agent Bob Ricks says agents had high hopes for a resolution, but today's standoff is not a sign of progress. The cult claimed today is a high holy day.
When we return, Brian Fortier will have the full forecast.
And Todd Cox will be in with all the latest sports. Stay with us.
Long ago, in a place where there was nothing, something incredible began to happen. As the centuries passed, a beautiful forest blossomed, and all was well. Then one day, a man was careless. And once again, there was nothing.
That's my dad. And that's Mom. Dad's got an idea, a way to get rid of all the grody garbage that's polluting the world. He's invented a big rocket ship to shoot all the garbage into outer space. Mom's not sure, but Dad says his invention will save the world.
There's an easier way to save the world. Recycle. For your free recycling action guide, write Recycle. Environmental Defense Fund, 257 Park Avenue South, New York, New York.
That you will always have a friend here at Carver High. Congratulations.
Hey, how you doing, Mrs. Epps?
Decide what you're going to do after graduation, Michael.
Yep, I'm going to go home and make a sandwich.
Well then, Michael.
Hey, how you doing, Mr. Dean?
I'm fine. Listen, what are you doing after graduation?
I don't know. I was thinking about going home and brushing the teeth and combing the hair. Hey, what's up? We made it.
Hey, I couldn't have gotten through physics without you.
Yeah, well, you're on your own at college.
It's not fair.
That's all right. I'm going to get a job, you know. I'm going to start working. I'm going to save. And I'll be in college in another year or two.
So, what do you have planned, Mike?
I think I'm going to go home and make a sandwich. It's okay, man.
Support the United Negro College Fund. A mind is a terrible thing to waste.
Good evening. Currently around Mount Pleasant, we have a temperature of 46 degrees. Our dew point's at 40. Relative humidity is 92%. Barometric pressure is 30.19 and finally going up. The wind is from the northeast at 9 miles per hour. Taking a look at the almanac, today's normal high is 46. The record 82 occurred in Lansing back in 1910. And the normal low for this date is 28. And the record was 10 below set back in 1965. The sun will set tonight at 6:58 and come back up tomorrow morning at about 6:31. Taking a look around the country late this afternoon, we have this storm system out west that's slowly moving on shore, causing a couple of rain and snow showers out in California and up into Washington. And it's also helping with this low pressure system here to pump up some warm air up into the plains. Its temperatures were in near record-breaking levels up in the northern plains. North Dakota and Montana saw temperatures in the 60s and 70s today. Now taking a look at the rest of the country off to the east here. All right, we'll skip ahead to the forecast map for Friday, which shows that storm system still sitting out there, not moving a whole lot, as these high pressure systems will kind of keep everything from moving. What's going to happen around here is this cold front here is going to touch off a few clouds and a few rain showers, and we should see partly sunny skies as we're underneath this high pressure here. Taking a look around the state today, temperatures were in the mid-50s in the UP where the sun was out today. The lower peninsula here, a lot of fog kept temperatures down as temperatures were only in the low 40s and mid-40s across the lower peninsula. Down the southern part of the state, a lot of fog and a few showers. Okay, we'll take a look at the forecast now. For tonight, partly cloudy with some patchy fog developing. We'll have a low of about 34. Wind will be light and variable. Tomorrow, morning fog, hopefully becoming partly cloudy. High of 52. If we see more sun, temperatures should get up in the mid-50s. And taking a look at the extended outlook for the rest of the week, we should have temperatures near 60 on Friday and maybe in the mid-low 60s on Saturday and Sunday. Low temperatures should be pretty much in the 40s with partly cloudy skies.
So, does that mean spring weather is on the way?
Yeah, it looks like it.
Okay, thanks a lot, Brian.
Yep.
Stay tuned. Todd will be in with sports.
Having the right resume is vital to your future career. That's why you need a resume from Copy Corner, your professional resume headquarters. Copy Corner will help you every step of the way, from writing to layout to printing. And you'll end up with a resume to impress any prospective employer. For one resume or 100, you can't beat our prices, high quality, or fast service. So for a professional resume, contact the experts at Copy Corner, located in Saddler Square, Big Rapids, and the Cinema Plaza, Mount Pleasant.
Honey, it's Mom. Please let me in. I'm worried.
Learn to see the signs of mental illness. 2 out of 3 people who get help get better. For a free booklet, call the National Mental Health Association.
Everyone has their own idea of a hero.
Magic Johnson. Arnold Schwarzenegger. Mr. Neal.
My hero, Gloria Estefan.
Martin Luther King. Mr. Hope.
These are teachers, but to the kids they've reached, they're heroes. They've given them hope. They've given them choices. They've changed their lives.
Well, the children are the heroes.
The most fulfilling thing is watching a child succeed.
I just like to help them make their dreams come true.
Teachers have the power to wake up young minds, to be heroes, to make a difference. Reach for that power. Teach. If you want to make an impact on our future, call 1-800-45-TEACH.
Mr. Wilkins.
Mrs. Eisenhower.
Mr. Adler.
Be a teacher. Be a hero.
Todd Cox is in next with sports.
So, Todd, the Wings are on a 3-game winning streak.
A hot streak so far, and let's see if they can keep it up. Detroit Red Wings had numerous chances last night to put away the New York Islanders, but the Wings prevailed with a 3-2 win as we travel to Joe Louis Arena down in Detroit. And as Paul Eisbart will feed Dallas Drake, and Drake will put the puck past the goalie Mark Fitzpatrick to make it 1-0 Wings. And then Dino Cicerelli feeds Gerard Gallant, and Gallant will blast the puck into the net to make it 2-0 Wings. And then here, Red Wing Pat Verbeek shoots the puck against the boards, and then it will ricochet off the boards into the wing zones. And then here, one of the Islanders gets a breakaway, but Shovelday stops in. It's still 2-0 Wings. As we move to the third period, as the Wings forecheck, and Steve Yzerman gets a puck in front of the net, he'll light up the red light for his 53rd goal of the year. With the win, Detroit moves into first place in the North Division, 1 point ahead of Chicago. Elsewhere on the pro ice last night, it was Toronto edging Winnipeg 5-4 as Teemu Selanne scored 2 goals and added an assist to break the NHL rookie record for points in a season. Washington down Quebec 5-1. Kevin Hatcher scored his 30th goal for the Capitals, becoming the 6th defenseman to reach that level. New Jersey pounded Tampa Bay 9-3. Former Red Wing Randy McKay had a goal and 2 assists. And Pittsburgh down San Jose 7-2 as Mario Lemieux had 5 points and Kevin Stevens had 4 as the Penguins won their 7th straight. Well, after 12 seasons at Georgia Tech, Bobby Cremins has decided to leave the Yellow Jackets to take over as head coach at his alma mater, South Carolina. Cremins replaces Steve Newton, who resigned as Gamecocks coach January 18th after an internal report by the school that outlined 5 secondary NCAA violations. Cremins led Georgia Tech to 9 NCAA tournament appearances, including 1 Final Four berth in 1990. The Pistons were off last night, but there's plenty of action in the NBA last night in Phoenix as the Sun thumped New York 121-92. Charles Barkley had 31 points and 11 rebounds in a game that was abrupted by a serious brawl. Houston down Charlotte 111-103. Hakeem Olajuwon scored 31 for Houston. Atlanta handed Dallas a 125-107 loss as Dominique netted 28 for the Hawks. In the Battle of Florida, it was Orlando 103, Miami 89 as the Shaq Attack led all scorers with 28 while Glenn Rice paced the Heat with 24. Philadelphia outscored Denver 88-80. The 76ers ended their 6-game losing streak. Cleveland trounced San Antonio 127-90. Brad Daugherty scored 25 points, and Mark Price had 16 points and 18 assists to move Lenny Wilkens into 3rd place in the NBA all-time victories. Utah down Indiana 119-101. John Stockton threw in 23 for the Jazz. Chicago outdueled Minnesota 107-100. Air Jordan netted 34 points, while Chuck Person had 31 for the T-Wolves. Portland 108, Seattle 99 as Terry Porter scored 36 for the Blazers. And Sacramento down the LA Clippers 121-104. Wayman Tisdale matched his career high with 40 points, and Spud Webb had a season high 29 points and a career best 17 assists. Well, speaking of that brawl in Phoenix and New York, the NBA handed out its fines and suspensions for last night's bench-clearing brawl between the Suns and the Knicks. Knicks guard Greg Anthony, who was suspended for 5 games and fined $20,000. Teammate Doc Rivers and Suns guard Kevin Johnson were each fined and suspended without pay for 2 games. In addition, the league fined the Knicks $50,000 and Phoenix $25,000 for failing to properly control their players during the second quarter fight. And finally, in pro football news, the Detroit Lions signed their first free agent yesterday by signing tight end Rodney Holman, formerly of Cincinnati. Holman is a 3-time Pro Bowl tight end and was waived by the Bengals in February. Terms of the deal was not released. And Jim McMahon has signed a 2-year deal with the Minnesota Vikings that could pay him $6 million. McMahon comes back into the Central Division, where he led the Chicago Bears to Super Bowl 20 in 1986. And that'll do it for sports.
It's quite a brawl in Phoenix.
Quite a brawl, and really unnecessary. You hate to see that, but you know they levied out the fines. It's real huge, and it's going to cost both teams big time.
They're certainly paying for it.
Yes, they will.
All right, thanks, Todd. News Central. We'll be right back.
After dating the guy forever, you think I could tell him anything.
Why is this so hard? I'm really scared.
It takes a lot of guts to tell someone he's too drunk to drive. But you can do it. Just say it. Because if you don't, there may be nothing left to say.
Kevin, I'm gonna drive.
Take the keys, call a cab, take a stand. Friends don't let friends drive drunk.
Thousands of forest fires are started by people who never realize what they've done. Some never even set foot in the forest.
Late tonight, while slurping soup is frowned upon by Miss Manners, it was one of the judging criteria in Campbell Soup's recent contest.
3.5-year-old Jacob Stein of West Bloomfield Township and 6-year-old Irina Ufman of Oregon won the company's Campbell Soup Kids contest yesterday in Minneapolis. The Campbell kids have appeared in soup ads since 1904. The contest capped a nationwide search for a real-life Campbell kid lookalikes. The Michigan boy's uncanny resemblance earned him $3,222 and the right to represent the cartoon cutie.
Well, Dave, do you think it's too late for me to be the Campbell Soup kid?
Well, I don't know, but if I knew they were if I knew that they were given that much money, I would have participated myself.
Good.
And Todd, we look forward to that Michigan game.
8 o'clock Friday, they play George Washington. It should be a good game.
Okay, we look forward to that.
And Brian, are we going to be able to wear shorts soon?
Well, if low 60s are warm enough to wear shorts for you, then maybe this weekend.
Great.
All right, that's all for News Central. Thank you for joining us.
Have a good evening.